Welcome back. Healthcare, tax reform, Justice Gorsuch, and really all things Trump all have led to serious arguments on Capitol Hill. It's likely no coincidence that since it all started, the bull run has gone flat. I had the opportunity to ask President Trump about the divide on Capitol Hill right now.
The level of hatred is incredible. And I'm not just saying in the last 90 days. I'm saying this has been for the last few years. There's a great level of hostility, and they're putting their hatred way above the country and the benefit to the country, that, you know, things that they do can have such benefit.
Former Morgan Stanley Chairman and CEO John Mack is joining me right now. He's also senior advisor to Morgan, as well as senior advisor to BDT, Byron Trott's company. And John, it is good to see you.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. So you just heard what President Trump said. I mean, Congress used to go out and have lunch together, have a coffee together. It just seems that there's so much disagreement and hatred.
Right.
They can't get anything done, John.
Well, it's hard to get things done, and this is not a shot at cable news, but there's so much news that I think you're always looking for what is the story. Everyone wants to say something different, and I think that puts a lot of pressure on the politicians to respond. So we want the news, and we love cable news, but in my view, there's so much directed at or attacking different congressmen, whether it's the Democrats or Republicans, it makes no difference.
Okay, so tax reform and infrastructure. There's a thinking now that maybe these two policies can go side by side. Maybe that's a way that Donald Trump can get the Democrats involved and under the tent, do an infrastructure package. You think that's critical, infrastructure. It's a job creator, too.
Yeah, well, it is critical. All you have to do is drive the streets in New York or go to LaGuardia Airport, and you see infrastructure is very weak. I think the challenge there is that the president and the leadership need to figure out a way to cut certain programs and add money to other programs to make sure we focus on infrastructure. I mean, our train system vis-a-vis what they have in Europe or what they have in Asia is really obsolete. It's a great way, I think, to create jobs, to get people to move from A to B city without, you know, going through the rigmarole that we do today. So I think those are very important focuses. On tax reform, you know, I think that's an issue, but I don't find it a huge issue. I think the most important issue is let's look at where we're wasting money. And I think President Trump is doing that. Where are we spending that we don't need to spend? Where can we cut back? And if that can create tax relief, I'm all for it.
That's one of the reasons why a health care plan couldn't get past go, because they're trying to make it more cost effective. You know, they're trying to bring premiums down. The same thing with the tax plan. The Committee for a Responsible Budget says it's going to add to the deficit. So what should we be cutting back on in terms of spending?
Well, again,
the decisions they're all talking about right now, and I know it's the million-dollar question, by the way.
Well, we have to look at all the programs. Let's start with farm subsidies. Let's start there. Let's talk about what's going on in the oil and gas industry. Let's figure out, can we cut taxes if we incent people to build alternative energy, whether it's solar, wind, et cetera. I think there are a lot of things we need to look at. Let's look at the foreign aid we give and who we're giving it to, and is it a good investment for us? So I think the president is right. We need to look at everything. There's no one bullet you can shoot that will solve these problems.